In Persona games, some skills have earned incredible reputations, becoming known for being reliable, consistent, or even helping players overcome what seem like unwinnable situations. But sometimes, that reputation is a little undeserved. Everyone has that one skill they swear is absolutely broken, when in reality, it's a lot more underwhelming once you stop to think about it, so that's what this video is all about. Talking about some of the most LARPed, overhyped, and overrated skills in Persona history. And there's no better way to start than the LARP skill in Persona games.
I'll go with
I bring you Megidolaon.
damn it.
Megidolaon is probably the most popular and well-known skill in the series. Maybe tied with Myriad Fruits, but have you ever noticed that whenever you use Megidolaon, it seems to hit like a wet noodle, but when an enemy uses it, it actually takes a chunk of your HP away? Well, it can depend on the game, and some other hidden factors, but for the most part, Almighty skills have been on the weaker side of spells across all modern entries in the Persona series. Back in the original iterations of Persona 3, as well as Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden, Almighty skills didn't even have damage boosting passives. This made them incredibly weak when compared to elemental magic as well as physical skills. The main issue with Megidolaon and Almighty skills in general is actually quite more simple. It's the fact that you're relying on nothing but raw damage for most of the time. No one more, no baton passing, no nothing. And for an element which its entire gimmick revolves around dealing raw damage because you can't resist it, John Atlus still made quite a few enemies that just flat out resist Almighty. It doesn't make any sense to me, but well, what can I do about it? It's only in Persona 5 where you can get more Almighty damage by striking a technical hit to an enemy if they are afflicted with sleep or dizzy. But it doesn't even matter that much because you can still do that with other elements more efficiently, and with far more ailments too. And adding insult to injury, this isn't everything, because in Reload for some reason, they nerfed Almighty again by making Magic Ability and the new ultra rare passive Magic Mastery not work with Almighty at all. So, in a game where magic is already a lot weaker when compared to physical, Almighty just looks even worse by comparison. But hey, even if Megidolaon isn't the greatest thing ever, in Persona 5 at least we have Myriad Fruits carrying the reputation of Almighty skills being good, even if technically you can still get more damage with physical. But I digress. To Megidolaon's credit, there are other skills that are even more overhyped when they're actually really not all that. Like in this case.
The scent of flowers waft. I can't defeat it.
I don't even know how to start. Yukiko's third semester ability, Burning Petals, is the skill of all time. The way you see people online talk about this move would honestly make you think that this is on par with Shoutout or something. And I know I'm gonna step into the line of fire by talking smack about this skill, but please hear me out. The reason why I think this skill is very overrated is surprisingly simple. This is just a glorified Maragidime. To be precise, it's a 9% stronger version of the same move. And it's unlocked until the third semester of Golden. To be fair, Atlus has a really messy history with skill descriptions, so I can't really blame the player for thinking this skill is stronger than it actually is when the term severe damage is used. For comparison, Shoutout is listed as light damage 8 times, but in reality, it is twice as strong as Burning Petals, even accounting for Fire Boost and Fire Amp. However, in defense of Burning Petals, this move is surprisingly good against the final boss, even if it's only because they have an arbitrarily hidden physical resistance. But the final nail in the coffin for me is that even if it's only 8% stronger than Agidine, you would think at least Yukiko gets to be the strongest fire damage dealer. But nope, our beloved Narukami gets access to Ragnarok, Sword's exclusive fire attack, which is also 2% stronger than Burning Petals, just to spite it. And yeah, if you technically want the niche AoE strongest fire move, Burning Petals would still be the way to go. But honestly, at that point in the game, the normal enemies that you will go up against won't really be affected by that extra 8% if you're hitting a weakness. But even with all this, I get the hype for it. Party members getting cool exclusive new moves in the final stages of a game can be very exciting, which is something I can't even say about the next move in this list.
Pull the trigger.
Mediarahan and Salvation too for that matter are the highest tier of healing spells we get access to in Persona games. And they kinda suck? Okay, it's not as simple as the skill just being bad. In a vacuum, fully recovering the player's HP with the press of a button actually sounds pretty neat, even more so with Salvation that completely cleanses ailments. But the Persona combat system doesn't lend itself to find the time to heal in the middle of a battle. Encounters are very fast-paced. Most battles in the series don't even go past 2 turns even, and that's including some of the super bosses in the franchise. For me personally, if I find myself using this skill, it's usually in the dungeon overworld between battles, rather than in the middle of one. I guess there's the ultra rare instance where during late game your whole party gets afflicted with something while being low on HP and Salvation can maybe come in handy. But that scenario is too specific to really bring it up, since not that many enemies have good kill potential while also consistently applying ailments. It also doesn't help that these skills are usually attached to party members with the lowest damage outputs in their respective games. I'll share a personal experience here, but when I really started diving deep into the Persona combat, my good friend CTOVN changed my perspective by saying the following: why spend time using healing when you can kill things dead? And I know that sounds really dumb on paper, but think about it for a second. How much damage are you missing on per encounter if you stop yourself to heal instead of just consistently pumping out damage? Nowadays, I personally moved on from trying to have a balanced team to just running high damage team comps to clear most encounters during my first turn, and if I really need to heal in the middle of a battle, party-wide heals are usually my go-to move. They're so readily available through the entire game, especially in most recent entries where the game just showers you with money. The value of having a healer on your team just goes down drastically. However, that is just my playstyle really. There's nothing inherently wrong with bringing a dedicated healer into your party, but since we're talking about moves that can be detrimental to turn management, there is one I immediately thought about.
All right.
I have a bone to pick with Heat Riser. This skill is genuinely everything this video is about. Usually you get this until the late stages of the game, and the description sounds great, having all the essential buffs in one move and all that. There's only one major issue. It only works for one ally. This makes Heat Riser completely fall apart in every scenario except maybe a solo run. The thing is, you have 4 party members on your team, and by doing some simple math, you will realize it takes one less action to fully buff your party using Mataru Kaja, Maraku Kaja, and Masuku Kaja instead of Heat Riser 4 times, and you would still have an action to spare with your 4 teammates. But that isn't even optimal either, because we have party-wide auto-buffs in every modern entry of Persona games. And in the rare instance where the fight lasts longer than 3 turns, we also have superior alternatives in Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5, like Thermopylae, Neo Cadenza, Fuka Party Buff, Fuka Sylphid Aura, Chia's Dragon Hustle, Futaba Party Buff, Futaba Ultimate Support. I guess you get the point. I genuinely have zero defense for this skill, and I was this close to mentioning Debilitate as well, but at the very least, Debilitate does have some use cases over Maracunda if there's only one enemy. However, if you can repel an element or have Makaraka inactive, you can do more damage by just applying Racunda rather than Debilitate. But I digress.
For his neutral special, he wields a gun. His up special fires a gun. His side special invokes gun.
Let's go. Ravage them!
Fire! You missed?
Gun.
The influence Super Smash Bros. Has had on Persona must be studied. Thanks to it, everyone and their mother was making an Arsene gun build, and even today, I have one myself. Don't get the wrong idea here though. Gun affinity is amazing in P5, maybe even the best one. It stays powerful and consistent throughout the entire game, but I'm sad to say, there is a very clear black sheep in the gun skill family. Yep, one-shot kill. This is the potential man of skills in Persona 5. On paper, it's great to have a skill that reaches the 60% crit rate cap only without pupil, but that's exactly its main issue. Its gimmick trades damage for in exchange having very reliable crits. That's great and all, but then again, you can reach insanely high crit rates with other skills that have higher base power as soon as level 30, like for example, Triple Down without Pupil, Fortified Moxie, and Trigger Happy. And let's not even talk about Riot Gun, which is just a direct upgrade to one-shot kill, even though they are both listed as severe damage. And even if you don't take Moxie into account, since it only works on ambush, with Riot Gun, you're still working with 45% base crit rate, making it so that if there are 2 or more enemies on the field, you actually have a higher crit chance with Riot Gun than one-shot kill. I don't think one-shot kill is bad. It's just that Atlus didn't predict how good Triple Down and Riot Gun would be in comparison. But honestly, every gun skill is at the very least good, including this one. And even if it's completely unrelated, I love the attack animation. It's so satisfying to hit a critical. Personally, I don't think any skill is outright unusable. Every single one of them has at least one situation where at the very least they can be useful. And of course, at the end of the day, it's just my perspective based on my experiences with these games. If you think Megidolaon is the greatest spell ever conceived by mankind, all more power to you! If you also want to share some skills that you consider either overrated or underrated in the comments, that would be great. And finally, if you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate if you can hit the like and subscribe button. I'm really grateful for the massive support my last videos have had, but that's everything from me today. So, thanks for watching. Peace.